Hello everyone again. So here's our second video. This one is going to be for worksheet 5-5. It's page 36. It's called Simplifying and Evaluating Expressions. We're just going to call it expressions. And then really what we're going to do is plug in numbers. For instance, if I said 3 times h and h equals 4, you would rewrite 3 times 4 and then solve it. I could also say h equals 9. 3 times h equals 27. You will see on the worksheet it's going to have a bunch of different numbers that you can plug in for letters. For instance, it says here, for these first 6, evaluate each expression if g equaled 3, h equaled -1, and m equals 9. So let's take a look at number 1, which would be g to the 5th power. But we don't know what g is. On the top of the sheet it says g equals 3. So you replace the g with a 3. 3 to the 5th power. Let's look at another type that would be number 6. And then you would solve 3 to the 5th power, which is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, whatever that equals. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 7. You could do it on the calculator. Okay, here is one, number 6. M plus h g to the 3rd. So let's see, m is 9, h is -1, and g is 3. So since these two are next to each other, it's multiply. And since g is 3, it's 3 to the 3rd power. So then you just have to solve that. 9 minus -1 is 8. 3 to the 3rd power is 27. 8 times 27. Remember the order of operations. It's very important that you follow the order of operations. Let's take a look at another one. If we were to look at number 4, it'll be helpful if I put these up here for us. G is going to equal 3, h is going to equal -1, and m will equal 9. Everywhere we see a G, we're going to put a 3. Everywhere we see an H, we're going to put a -1. And everywhere we see an M, we're going to put a 9. Let's look at number 4. H, -1. M, 9 squared. So this is saying 9 squared times -1. -81. What I did is I plugged in these values of the variable. G equals 3, h equals -1, and m equals 9. Number 4 on its own looks like this. hm squared. I plugged the -1 in for the h. You can see it lined up. I put the 9 in for the m. And then the square, the exponent of 2 was already in the problem. So we just solve it that way. 9 squared is 81. Times -1. Negative times a positive is a negative. All right, let's look at one more. Remember, we're just substituting. So on the second part, it says evaluate each expression if b equals 8, c equals 2, and d equals -3. So what about number 13? C squared plus d. We know c is 2 plus -3 because d is -3. Now we just evaluate this. We just solve it. Even though there's no equal sign, we can still solve it. 2 squared is 4 plus -3. So if we use a number line, we'll realize 4 plus -3 is kind of the same as 4 minus 3. And the answer is 1. Let's take a look at one more on the bottom half. How about number 11? 3 to the c power. Well, c equals 2. So it's 3 to the second power, and that equals 9. That is the second worksheet, 5-5, page 36. We're plugging in the numbers it tells us to into little expressions and then solving them. All right. Thank you, guys.